Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So in today's session we are going to see how to install SQL Server and a Management Studio, right? Unfortunately, after I have started my channel, ideally this should be the first video I should have created, but that didn't happen. But anyway, today I'm making this video for you. So this will help you in installing SQL Server and Management Studio basically. So initially SQL, when you used to install SQL Server, Management Studio also gets installed with the SQL Server. But recently, since last couple of versions, Microsoft has actually separated out this. So now we need a two installation. One is an actual SQL Server database engine, and then a Management Studio. Basically, Management Studio is nothing but integration environment to connect to your SQL Server. Okay. So yeah, nothing more to talk about this. So let us start, with installation. So on your browser, whenever you want to install on your browser, just type, download SQL Server, and whatever the first official link from Microsoft is there, click on that. Now Microsoft, allows you to download the current version or the current edition, right? Not edition, sorry, current version. So if you can see here, SQL Server 2000 Developer Edition. Okay. So from this, you can download the current version with whatever edition you want. But they have also provided you an option to download the older version. Older version. So when you click on this product, you can see the previous version. So you can download from 2005, 8, 16, 17, and 19. And right. But I would also suggest, I would always suggest that please download the latest version itself. So whatever exercise or whatever practices you are making, you always do on the latest version, so that you can also practice the new features actually given by Microsoft. Okay. Now Microsoft comes with, SQL Server comes with different editions, like Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, Developer Edition, and Express Edition. So each, depending upon the features, they are separated, right? And then standard and enterprise editions are the paid editions, right? Whereas developer and express editions are the free editions. So I would always suggest that please download this developer edition. Okay. Because it almost have all the features that are present in enterprise edition, but the only thing is that you cannot use this edition into your production environment. So this is purely for your practice and testing purposes. Okay. And even express is also the same, but there are some basically lesser features in express compared to developer edition. Okay. So without wasting time, let us, we would click on this. So whenever you want to install SQL Server, just click on the developer edition, download now. Once you click on this, it will, if you can see on my screen, it has started downloading, and this way a file would be down. This file you can see here is downloaded, right? Then just right click and run as administrator. So once you do that, it would start the installation process. I would go through the full installation process, all right, but I would not install because I have already installed. So there are three installation types. One is basic, custom, and download media. Okay, basic means it will install all the basic required features. Custom is you can actually uh, you know select what features you want to install, because it would allow us to install a lot of features. And download media is that for future, if you want to just download a media, you can click here. So we would go by custom here, and then it would just ask the media location where it would keep a temporary files. And once that is done, you can say install. So now it is downloading this package. It will take a little bit time. I would be back with you once this download gets completed. Okay. Okay. So now this has been done. Once it's download and extract the files, you should see such type of screen, right? So to install Microsoft SQL Server, just click on the installation tab, and then you should take the first one, that is new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. So once you click on this, it will start asking some questions, and what type of features you want to install and so on. And once it is finalized, it will whatever selection you have made, it will install for you. Okay. Okay. So now you can see here, but the first screen is related to edition. So we have chosen for the developer edition, right? Even evaluation editions also comes, but then evaluation edition, it is like for 60 or 90 days, or after 90 days, it would stop working. So it is always good that you actually use a developer edition. Okay. And when you have a standard, you can see here, standard or enterprise edition, then you can click on the enter the product key, and whatever product key you have got from Microsoft while purchasing, you can enter that, and that way you can use this as a license copy. Okay. So once this is set, click on next. Okay. You need to accept the license terms from Microsoft. Just click on this and click on next. Okay. Then again click on next, and it would do some validations check. So here it's okay, it is just giving a warning Windows firewall. Sometimes it happens that it if any another installation is half completed, then it would not allow, and it will tell you to restart. So in that case, just restart and start the installation or configuration again. Okay. But here I think we are good to go ahead. So next, here, if you want an with an Azure extension, then you need to actually give all these details, like what is your subscription ID and resource group and so on. But currently we would be skipping Azure installation or Azure configuration right now. Okay, then click next. Now here, these are the features. Okay. So there are good amount of features, like main is the database engine service, then if replication, machine learning services, full text, data quality services, polybase services and all. And there are some shared features, even analysis services is there. And if some shared features like data quality client, integration service and so on, right? But currently for our purpose, we don't want to install anything. We would just click on database engine services, because right now we just need an SQL Server as a database engine, and when we are not looking for any other features or services. Okay. So once you do that, click on the next. Then these are some feature in instance configuration. So you can use a default also, and you can give a name also. So here I'm just specifying SQL 2022, and then press tab. So the instance ID would be always the same. Okay. And here you can see what would get installed here. Okay. Then click on next. Okay. Now here you can see here this three features would be installed, like SQL Server Agent, Database Engine, and SQL Server. And these are the default account names, right? We don't, you know, we don't provide the password here because they are the internals, right? The main thing we need to consider here is the collation. Okay. So currently you can see SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. So I'm not going into the detail of what is collation, because I have already created a full length of video on collation, right? So you can go and watch that video. But just to tell you that you can change the collation at the installation time itself from here, right? Once the collation and everything is being sent, and your service accounts are set up, right? You can click next. Now these are some configurations related to the authentication, data directories, time DB, and so on, right? So now SQL Server basically allows two types of authentication. One is Windows authentication, which is directly connected to your Active Directory. It may be an on-prem Active Directory or an Azure Active Directory. And second is SQL Server authentication. But if we would do SQL Server authentication here right now, right? Then you need to specify a password for SA account, and you might have to give a complex password, right? So I would show you how to change the password and enable SA account once the SQL Server is installed. So for right now, we would say just go with the Windows authentication, and you need to, very importantly, you need to add your current user, which is the administrator, you know, which would act as an administrator. So you can see here my laptop name and my name is appearing. So actually, whenever I want to log in first time to the SQL Server, right, it would be using this Windows account. Okay, so this is basically very important that one administrator should be allocated to the SQL Server. So this is an administrator account. Okay, then these are directories. So you can specify, what in what data directory you want to keep this database files and log files and backup files and so on, and what should be the root directory. Ideally, we should not change this. Whatever is default is good. Okay, so generally, we would try that we would not change this for, for the development purpose, right? This is very important when you are setting up the production or the QA or test environment. Then this is the temp configuration, how many temp files and everything. This is the max DOP configuration. Now this is something advanced topic. Even I have created the videos on max dupe and parallelism and so on, so you can go and watch those. Okay, so once this is done, click next, right? And that's it. It says that, we are ready to install. I have already installed SQL Server, so I'm not going to install this, but it just give the summary that, what features and what else everything would be installed on this computer. You can go through this. If you think that, something is missing or something is extra added which you don't want, then you can always go back and do that. And once you're happy with that, just click on install, and it will start installation, and within no time it will actually install your SQL Server. Okay, so this was related to SQL Server. Similarly, if you want to, once SQL Server, you cannot connect SQL Server with any of the third, integration environment, right? So to install Management Studio. So for that, we use Management Studio, which is again a Microsoft product. So it is, well compatible with SQL Server. So whenever you want to install Management Studio, just type download Management Studio, and whatever the first official website is there, click on that, right? And you can see here free download for SQL Server Management Studio 19. So current version is 19.01. Just click on this and it will start downloading. I have already downloaded version. You can see here the setup for Management Studio is also very easy and straightforward. Just right click and say run as administrator. Okay. So once you click and right click and run as do a run as an administrator, it would say, say that Microsoft has a Management Studio with Azure Data Studio. So this would get installed with Azure Data Studio also, right? So Azure Data Studio is generally used to connect for on-prem servers also and for the Azure servers also. It's not that only Azure Data Studio, but this is the newer release of Microsoft. You can connect Azure databases from Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio also, and this is very straightforward. There is no selection or anything. Just you have to click and install. So once this is done, it will take some time and it will get installed. Okay, so I'm not installing it again. So now we have already installed SQL Server and Management Studio, right? So once you do that, what you have to do is on your Windows button, just type SSMS, and you can see here the link, right? Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and click on that. Once you click on that, it will check everything, and that's it. You're ready to connect with the Management Studio, and this way it will ask for, what type of server you want to connect. So you can see here there are different type like database engine, analysis service, reporting service, integration service, and Azure SSIS integration runtime, right? So we want to actually connect to database engine, and this is my server name. So if you have multiple servers, you can always go and do a browse for more. And when you expand this database engine, currently I have only one instance installed, right? And then click OK here, and You can see here, if you remember that we had added an Azure administrator account, and this is the same administrator account. And on authentication type, as I told you, there are several. So, but majorly, if you are not working with Azure, then majorly two authentication types are used. One is Windows authentication and one is SQL Server. Okay, but we have not configured SQL Server. Okay, so we would go by Windows authentication. Okay, so just click on Windows authentication and say connect. And this way it would connect. So now you can see here the SQL server, my version and my SQL server is being connected. So this is an integrated environment. So this is my SQL server and this is my integrated environment through which we can actually connect to SQL server and work with an SQL server. Okay, guys. So hope you understood how to basically install SQL Server and Management Studio, right? In my next video, I will show you how to actually, enable the SQL Server account authentication type, how to provide a password for SA account, and how to create a new user, SQL user and Windows user both. Okay. So for now, that's it. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please don't forget to press a like button and subscribe to my channel so that you would keep getting notification for all the upcoming videos, right? So bye for now. See you next time with next topic. Till then, bye and take care.